Welcome to the Sunday service at CSLN. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of inspired individuals caring for and about each other and the entire planetary family. The Center for Spiritual Living Nashville offers spiritual tools for anyone seeking a more fulfilled and meaningful life through a deeper connection with a higher power or universal truths. Be sure to subscribe below if you enjoy our programs. Now let's join today's service.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, I am your host today. I am Marietta Carter, and I am a practitioner and board member. If you have any questions, I'm available after the service, and I can direct you to the right person with the best answer. But right now, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living Nashville. I'm going to also welcome all those who are online. Thank you for joining us today. And I invite you, if you're in our area, to please join us in Nashville, Tennessee. We're excited today because our speaker is our founder and somebody that's close to our heart, or my heart for sure, our beloved Reverend Dr. Mitch Johnson. The title of his talk today is Living Deliberately. So if you're wondering who we are an inclusive, open spiritual community for anyone seeking a deeper connection with God. So if you've never been to a Center for Spiritual Living, I'm glad you're here. We believe that there is one God. There's many paths to that God, and we are here to love and honor and support you wherever your divine path is. The Center of Spiritual Living is a safe haven for people of all beliefs and lifestyles. So wherever you are, wherever you find yourself on your journey, you are welcome here. So welcome to our center, and let's begin our service. I invite you to take a couple of deep breaths. And release. I invite you to close your eyes. And if you'd like, place your hand over your heart and feel that creative life force that is within and without. And know with me that there is just but one life. That life is God, that life is perfect, and that life is my life right now. Know with me that you can never be separate from Source, from God, and know that this CSLN community is a beacon of light and love to anyone in our greater CSL community. We are a part of a divine plan that is making a world that works for everyone. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful that today Dr. Mitch Johnson is here. I'm grateful that Sean Galloway, and I'm grateful for everyone who is here in service. We are truly blessed to be in the presence of such greatness. For this I'm thankful, and so it is. All right, Larry.
Okay, I'm here. Good morning. Thank you, Etta.
You're welcome.
Tap, tap, tap. Is this thing on?
Hello. Ooh. Okay. Singing for us today, put your hands together for Yvonne Smith and Sean Galloway.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we're going to start off with a song called In the Balance. And this was at a time in my life, on my healing journey, when I was putting all things, light and dark and everything, into balance in my life, and understanding the importance of that. So this is called In the Balance. Ready? Father, fire in the sky of ancient suns, touch my spirit with the light from which I come. Share with me the wisdom of all ages. Help me see myself as I am. Mother Earth gently moving at my feet, give me the strength to walk with grace and dignity. And share with me the wisdom of all ages, and unite my circle from the east, west, and north, south. Right here, right now, in the balance love is born from the womb of eternity, a physical universe where spiritual awareness breathes. In the balance I'm a child playing with creation, coloring my dreams with the power of peace. In the balance, brothers and sisters, now I've made my choice to walk with honor, my self-employed, and I will dance in the spectrum of emotion. And from my center I see red, yellow, black, white. One love, one light. In the balance love is born from the womb of eternity, a physical universe where spiritual awareness breathes. In the balance I'm a child playing with creation, coloring my dreams with the power of peace. In the balance, the moment flows in the balance. This love's eternal flow in the balance. One heart, one mind, one light, let it shine. Let it in the balance of love is born from the womb of eternity, a physical universe where spiritual awareness breathes. In the balance I'm a child playing with creation, coloring my dreams with the power of peace. In the balance, the moment grows in the balance. His love's eternal flow in the balance. Come on! One heart, one mind, one light, let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. One heart, one mind, one light, let it shine. Oh, let it shine. Let it shine. Shine!
Sean Galloway.
Thank you very much. All righty. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Great song. Whew, good morning. Look at all these bright and shiny, wonderful people out here. Thank you for being here. My name is David Arnholter, and I am a practitioner and a member of the Board of Trustees. And today our reading is from pages 103 and 104 from Love and Law by Ernest Holmes. Manifestation is not the balancing of two opposing forces, good versus evil. If it was, that would mean that evil equals good, which is an absolute impossibility. Evil equals nothing when good is present. Never forget that. If good comes in, evil goes out. It cannot stay. Evil seems to try to destroy good, but it cannot. It is that impersonal evil, that negative, destructive power of thought that makes people sick. And it's a race suggestion. Do you see what it's doing? It's operating on people's bodies because they believe it. You let any person arise with the reality of spiritual power, and evil could not affect that person. It could not remain in that consciousness any more than darkness can remain in a lighted room. We do not know where it came from or where it goes to. Where does sickness go? It came from a false belief that mind in matter and is divorced from God, and that we are separate somehow from our Creator and subject to conditions. Therefore, false ideas have produced sickness. So let us believe the opposite. No, understand that God is in us. That love, that truth, that power is within us. We are the very substance of the infinite itself. Let me repeat that. We are the very substance of the infinite itself. Our body is the substance of spirit itself, and it won't be sick. Where our consciousness is permeated with only 51% of right thinking, we are healed. When there is more light brought into a room than there is darkness, the darkness will disappear. It will cease to exist. So recognize the spirit of truth within you. That is what you must awake to before you can use the law. Forget everything else as you recognize that God in you. Spirit is intelligence and power. It is health. It is happiness. It is peace. It is prosperity, supply, activity. Spirit is the consciousness of the complete and perfect life. And so it is. Oh, okay, so let's all take a deep breath. Hold it a minute, and then release. One more time. Take that deep cleansing breath in, hold it, and release. Now I'm going to say this prayer in the first person, but please make it personal to you. I know with every fiber of my being that there is only one Spirit, one love, one life. I am one with Spirit. I am one with love. I am one with life. I know this fully and completely. And a healing power is flowing in and through me and our community right now, healing every decision, healing every thought, healing every action. And I know this same healing power is flowing through our beloved center, attracting the perfect buyer for our building in an easy, abundant transaction, and all involved are blessed. I also know that our perfect new home, our perfect new minister for our community are even now drawn to us in love. I am sending loving, healing energy out to anyone in our community dealing with health or other issues, and I affirm the highest and best outcome for them. And as a community right now, we hold them in our love, and in silence, we lift up those in special need right now. And I give thanks. I give thanks for every expression of love present in our audience today and watching this broadcast from home. I give thanks. I give thanks for this community, our Science of Mind teaching, for everyone making this service possible today. But most of all, I give thanks for love. An accepting spirit and love is my life experience. I release my word into the universal law of mind, which always says yes, knowing it has already made all of this or something even better so. And together we say, and so it is. Have a wonderful day.
Hear the echoes of my ancestors down the mist-filled path, moving over the mountains. Their fire is my map. Come on. For I'm a child that has chosen to pass the power of truth, dancing in the dream time from my Irish roots. And I surrender to the sages, the stories in the stone, awakening the peace from my ancestors, born of their blood in my bones. I'm coming home. Ooh, I'm coming home. I'm living my life in that river that runs, nourishing my nature for all those yet to come. And I surrender to the sages, the stories in the stones, awakening the joy from my ancestors, born of their blood in my bones. I'm coming home. Ooh, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I surrender to the sages, stories in the stones, awakening the love from my ancestors, born of their blood in my bones. I surrender to the sages, the stories in the stones, awakening the light from my ancestors, born of their blood in my bones. I'm coming home. Ooh, I'm coming home. I'm coming home to peace. I'm coming home to joy. I'm coming home. Ooh, to love. We're coming home. You and me. We're coming home. And I am home. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right, let's give a warm welcome to our founding minister, the Reverend Dr. Mitch Johnson.
Good morning. Oh, I'm supposed to say something now. Marcus Washling said, "Those at the top of the mountain didn't fall there." Repeat that. Those at the top of the mountain didn't fall there. Now, that's a very kind of self-explanatory kind of statement. And I like one-liners like these. They are always very useful in reminding me of the spiritual truth as we believe it to be. Everything we see in this world is an effect of a certain invisible cause. Nothing just happened. There is some invisible power, some cause behind everything that seems to be. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, the cause in us, the thought and emotion behind a lot of things that get created in our lives, is unconscious. We aren't aware that we really believe what we really believe. And we go through life stumbling from one event to the other haphazardly, sometimes with hurting and even heartbreaking results. But it doesn't have to be this way. It can be the way your heart wants it to be. If we heed the truth that those on top of the mountain, whatever being on top of the mountain means to you, see, it doesn't have to mean you're a movie star or the CEO, founder of a Fortune 500 company. To me, it means you have to be on top of being the best you that you can be. You have to, I believe that's what we all came here to do, to be the best of ourselves. So whatever that is to you, it might be a healing. It might be a sense of health and joy and love of family, business, abundance. It might be spiritual depth and more understanding. It might be all of these things. But no one just falls there by accident. People get where they want to be because they work at it, because they believe they deserve to be there mostly, or they wouldn't even bother to try. They deliberately plan to be there, or even something even better than they imagined. They know what they want, but they're open to more. As we often say in our treatments here, this or something better. In other words, They live a deliberate life. Years ago, there was this show on one of the channels. I don't know, maybe you remember it, The Dog Whisperer. Anybody remember that show? Yeah. So the Dog Whisperer takes dogs that are troublesome, they have bad habits, they bark too much, or they do their business wherever they want to, or they attack people or other dogs, and they are undisciplined. So the owners always say the same thing: I don't know why my dog is the way it is. But really they do. They never learn to take the time to tell the dogs what they want. And in most cases, the dog is telling them what it wants. And so it's always creating some kind of mess, especially if they have a puppy mind, you know, never staying on point, always wandering here and there. In other words, an untrained puppy mind can make a big mess. Now, this isn't rocket science. So the dog whispers begins to install within the dogs a deliberate new training. He keeps telling them, sit, stay, sit, stay, sit, stay. Well, at first, the dog resists, just like we resist something new, a new idea. And all the sits and stays in the world don't seem to make a difference. However, the dog whisperer keeps insisting, sit, stay, until the dog finally starts to get it that there's something it needs to do to live a happy dog life with its owners. So the more deliberate, the more tries, the more intense that this is the way it is going to be, as you tell the dog that, then the masters learn they have to insist that sit and stay are important to them. Now, I noticed they didn't beat the dogs or threaten the dogs, and they didn't withhold any love from the dogs. In fact, the dog whisperer seems to be very gentle, very loving, very insistent, maybe like a coaching person, that something in the dog becomes the way it wants the dog to become. So living a deliberate life means training our undisciplined minds and bodies to become the way we want them to be. So they will create an experience of life that puts us where we truly want to go. You see, like the puppies, what is not deliberately encouraged will start taking us to the messes of life. And we shouldn't be surprised to find chewed up shoes and torn pillows and messes on the floor. Which kind of brings me to this point. You should remember this if you don't remember anything else. Wallace Wattles, in his classic book, The Science of Getting Rich, it's called The Science of Getting Rich because it grabs people's attention when you talk about lots of money. But it's really the science of getting whatever you want to experience in your life. So he says this: the scientific use of thought consists in forming a clear and distinct image of what you want. In your mind, a picture of it. I'll say it again, the scientific use of thought consists in forming a clear and distinct image of what you want, in holding fast to the purpose to get what you want, and in realizing with grateful faith that you do get what you want. Now that's this whole talk in a nutshell. Understand, scientific use of thought consists in forming a clear and distinct image of what you want. And you have to have it there. You have that picture of the end result. You know, like if you were selling a house, I see some real estate agents out there. If you were selling a house, you'd see yourself pulling up that for sale sign and getting that check handed to you. And you hold that image in your mind. And you keep holding that image in your mind. And then you get the feeling of gratitude. The feeling of gratitude you would feel. And you add it to it. And you do this image over and over and over. Now, I know that sounds simple enough, but like our friend the puppy, our minds have to get used to the idea, this new idea of what can be. Over the years, people have often asked me, well, I didn't get what I wanted. Why didn't I get what I wanted? And I say, in most cases, you quit too soon. You quit too soon. What do I mean by that? You know, I came across this interesting study. I think it was in one of Greg Baden's book. But the scientists have figured out how many times does it take for a new synapse to form in your brain and in your body? How many repetitions do you have to do something or see something or feel something before you've built it, you've embodied it in your body? Well, under normal circumstances, they say this. It takes 400 times. And then you have a new neural structure in your body. Now understand something. When you have a new neural structure in your body, the frequency of energy from you says, it's done. Now, here's the interesting fact. In that same study, they also added this. When you do something and repeat it in joy and in love, it only takes 10 to 25 repetitions to get it embodied. Huh. Well, I'll be damned. Wished I'd have known that went well. Never mind. Most of us resist change because it's easier to think of the old way than the new way. But if we're faithful and if we're grateful to God, as he said, if we feel that gratitude and that love, if we are gentle and love what we want more than we're used to what we have, we'll get it. Should I repeat that? When you love what you want more than you're used to what you have, you will get it. What we have, what we will get used to, this new behavior, this new attitude, this new idea. And we will train ourselves to see life as it can be and to live it that way. And then sometime and somewhere, we will be on the mountaintop. But we have to intend to be there deliberately. I think it was Yogi Berra who said, if you don't know where you're going, you might wind up someplace else. Well, that's the untrained, undisciplined puppy mind that just loves to pay attention to whatever is going on right now and to be available in the moment for chewing up shoes and making messes. But I want you to notice something about our puppy dog whisperer story. The puppy has something within it. Love, I think, that wants to please the master or mistress. And that's why it will yield itself to the thoughts and behaviors necessary to get what is wanted. It's really all about love, the greatest motive force in the world. In like manner, there's something good in us and all around us that really wants to please us. We call it spirit or God or the Christ nature or the source, whatever you want to call it. It does respond to our intention and our loving insistence that we pay to that intention. Something spectacular can happen when we start thinking like something good is already so. Even when it may not be so as a visual fact. The great invisible presence of God starts renewing and resolving and encouraging and giving us more strength because we are it. When you give yourself strength, you are God giving itself strength. I can't make it any clearer than that. You see something? It encourages a belief in us. And you know what a belief is? Simply put, it's a thought you keep on having until it becomes a belief. In the book of Ezekiel, it says, "A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you." A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. See, you are stirring up something good, and then it starts stirring you up. Think of God or life as being your best friend, your very best, wanting to please you. And it might take effort to do this, but so what? Being on the mountaintop isn't worth it to you, then why do you want to be there? Isn't it about time we stop bumping into life that we don't want? Isn't it about time we stop bumping into a life we don't want and start creating a life we do want? I think we'll find it easier and more fun to create something deliberately, a life we do want, than in cleaning up messes we don't want. Amen? Amen. Reminds me of the story of George and John way back in the 1800s. They have a little tavern that was way back in the woods, and they wanted to get a new keg of whiskey. But George and John were both alcoholics. I'll just say it that way. And they sold a little whiskey in this tavern, and so they went to get some more in town. And they went into town, they got the keg of whiskey, and they put it back in their wagon, and they're slowly going back to their tavern in the woods. And George turns to John, and he says, "Look, John, I want to be fair here. The whiskey belongs to both of us to sell, so it wouldn't be fair for me to have a little drink without paying you for it." With that, he takes out a 10-cent piece, which was a lot of money in those days, and he gives it to him. John accepted. And then George took a long, deep drink from the whiskey keg and said, "Oh boy, that's good on a cold night." And this stirred up John, and he said, "George, I too feel the chill of the night air, and I agree with your fairness. So here's your 10 cents back." And then he took a long, deep swig of the whiskey. And then George gave John the 10 cents back and took another swig. And then John returned the 10 cents and took another swig. And they did this all the way home. And they passed that 10 cents between them until finally, when the keg was nearly empty, they pulled up to the tavern. And George, in a drunken stupor, says, "You know, Johns, it's amazing what 10 cents will buy." Well, I guess the moral of the story is fairly obvious. Those who get to the top of the mountain do it deliberately. Those who don't have only 10 cents to show for it. I think this 10 cents is called living on automatic pilot. You know, doing what you've always done. Have you ever done this? I did this the other day. I pull up to the light that's outside of the street where I live, and I turned to the right, and I got about a mile down the road, and I went, I meant to go the other way. Have you done that? Well, you know, I wanted to go the other way, but I was so used to turning that way that I turned, and it was easy. So it's easy to take that path of least resistance. And a lot of us turn on autopilot when we do that, and we go that way. We go out into life and just do what we've always done, think what we always think, and then act surprised when we get what we always got. But dear ones, it never has to be this way. Having and thinking in old ways will never create anything new. Allowing yourself the pleasure of having a new thought, a new idea, a new vision of how it can be is the pure pleasure of the joy of God that wants to be created through you. Thank you. I'll pay you later. You see, that joy of God, that's the love you have for what you want, which is the love that God wants to please you with. Yeah. Do something for me. Just close your eyes. Now, some people say, well, I don't know how to love something. I don't know how to love my vision. I don't know how to love myself. I want you just in your mind's eye to think of something you love. It can be a dog, a person, a place that you love. Just get it in your mind now. When you have it there, raise your hand. Now, I want you to remember this feeling. You feel it? Now, next time you have that image of that end result, add that feeling to it. And do it enough times to where you know how. Good. That's how you create a love feeling in you. Look, I'll tell you something absolutely astounding to some people, but I absolutely believe it's true because I found it out for myself. Your life is your interpretation of God's love for you. Your life is your interpretation of God's love for you, no matter what it seems to be. And I hear some of you saying, what? But it's true. So how's your interpretation going? Is it taking you where you want to go or not? Do you think life is for you or against you? You see, everything is an interpretation we make of it. This interpretation can uplift us and encourage us, cause us to pay attention to our intentions, or our interpretation can bury our spirits in a deep well of doubt and regret. The good news is we can choose our interpretations. We can interpret life as a glorious adventure and God's way of pleasing us. I like that. I guess I should. I said it. Turn to someone and say this. My life is a glorious adventure and God's way of loving me. Now I'll turn to someone else and say, my life is a glorious adventure and God's way of loving me. That feel better? You understand you just raised your vibration by your own words and feelings. By your own words and feelings. That's the power you have. Now I know it sounds silly if you're going through some hard problems, maybe even a dark night of the soul, but it's very important to get a good interpretation of how it can be. Now, I'm not dismissing anyone's hurts or problems. What I am saying is problems change when we learn to interpret them in a new light. And this takes loving yourself, loving life, and loving others more than you dislike your problems. You know, that's another way of saying focus on what you want and not on what you don't want. Interpret it the way it can be, and eventually it will be. So many problems, heartaches, and misunderstandings happen because of misinterpretation. You know, years ago they used to give an award called the Chevy Nova Award. This was in the field of advertising. And you remember the old Chevy Novas? Well, of course, in Spanish, Nova means no go. Okay. So one campaign, remember that old campaign you used to see on the billboards, Got Milk? You know, the guy had the milk on his lips. Well, that prompted them to expand their advertising into Mexico. But it was brought to their attention that the Spanish translation read, "Are you lactating?" Must have seemed strange to see those signs. What? Or there was Pepsi's Come Alive with the Pepsi Generation. It was translated in Chinese, Pepsi brings your ancestors back from the grave. Wow. One of my favorites, though, is this. You know, Purdue Chicken. Well, the man who started that was Frank Purdue, and he used to say this, and he had a whole advertising campaign built around it. It takes a strong man to make a tender chicken. And it translated into Spanish as, it takes an aroused man to make a chicken affectionate. I'm guessing it would. Chicken may not like it, though, I don't know. Harry Palmer wrote this, existence is a cycle that begins with believing and concludes with experiencing. Eventually, he says, we learn that beliefs we truly hold, the ones we've decided to believe, our faith, will cause us to create and attract experiences which will verify them. Well, what is faith he's really talking about? Faith is your willingness to do it and do it and do it, knowing that the only person you are changing is you. You're not trying to change the world. You're not trying to change other people. You're trying to change you because you are creating your life. Turn to someone now. Say this. Something good can happen to me when it happens in me. Now, one more time. See, you have to put your body into it. You have to make yourself believe. You guys turn to someone else. Keep real. Something good can happen to me when it happens in me. That's right. That's another good one-liner, isn't it? Hang your hat on? Yeah. The truth is, nothing happens to us unless it happens in us. This means we have to decide. Decide, the dictionary says, in the Latin is decaudere, means off, to cut off. See? Refuse another possibility. To make up one's mind about. So now we have this very powerful idea that I'm going to give you this morning. It was from one of our great ministers in the Science of Mind movement, Raymond Charles Barker. In his Power of Decision, he writes this, I am writing this book for those who want to create their own good and not have it created by others. They are willing and able to accept responsibility for their own mental actions, for what you say, what you feel, what you see, what you do. They are willing to accept responsibility for their own mental actions. They refuse to dodge the alibis induced within their own consciousness. They face themselves, correct their own thought, and create their own heaven here on earth. They have made the decision to be the creative centers of their own experiences. They no longer blame or censure. They revise their thinking and make certain it agrees with the gods of their own decisions that they've decided to believe. They said, our faith will cause us, he says, to create experiences which will make it so. One of the definitions of deliberate is characterized by an awareness of the circumstances. Certainly, we can be aware of the negative circumstances if we keep on doing something that isn't good for us or someone else. But become aware of the good consequences. Become aware of how it can be. Become aware of the image. And then do it. Think of it this way. You have to resolve yourself. I think in the book of Luke it says, I am resolved to do this. Resolve. Again. Solve again. Redo it again and again and again and again. And I know some of you are saying, but I've heard that already from you this morning. You know what? You should hear it at least 400 times if you want to change your life. Amen? Amen? I'm only telling you the truth. I'm only telling you how this thing works and how you can get what you want in your life. You don't have to believe me. And a lot of people don't. But I tell you, this world is changing. This world is getting better, despite what is going on the news. And this world gets better because we're getting better as a species. And that's because more of us have decided to think along the way we want it to be without interfering or hurting anyone else. And that's entirely possible. Say this, I am here, to be the best me, that I can be. Yeah, I'm here to be the best me, I can be. That's it. Well, so once again, let's reiterate what we talked about so far. First, have an image of first know what you want. And people say, well, I don't know what I want. And I don't know if it's God's will for me to have it. And I say, shut up. Or in your case, keep on. Well, usually I don't say shut up. I try to be gentler than that. But, sometimes gentleness isn't needed. Sometimes we need our butts kicked and we need to do the kicking. Amen? Amen. Understand. So, I don't know what I want. Well, take something you do want right now and get that picture of it. And it will lead you to something better if you frame that picture, see it and feel it, and rejoice in it and be grateful for it and love it. Okay? And here's the important point. Like it's already done. I love that verse in the book of John, where Jesus says, do not say there are still 4 months and then comes the harvest. Behold, I say to you, look at the fields, for they are already white for harvest. It's already done. You're the one that thinks it's going to take this long time to get it. You're the one that looks at how is it going to happen? Well, that's none of your business. Your business is to know, because you are this creative center of the expression of God. You are the creative center of the expression of all that is. Think of this. The universes within universes within universes, all of that comes to a point in you. What are you doing with it? Love. See it clearly. And know that the will of God for you is good and only good. That's how to live deliberately. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Dr. Mitch. So now is the time to give back to us what serves us. So if there's something that has touched you today, there are many ways that you can keep this law of circulation going. I'm going to ask the ushers to come forward. So we have many ways that we can accept your gift. You can use a credit card in our bookstore. We have a terminal set up in our lobby. Or you can find a document with a QR code in the book pocket in front of you. For our online viewers, please make a contribution to the link that should be showing, or you can mail your check to our street address. Please say with me, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you for your loving gifts.
All right, everybody, we have a song for you called Unify right now. And in my travels, this has been like a kind of like a big theme song, anthem kind of thing. So if you feel so called, you can put your phone up and put the light on and join us and send it out to the world, all right? All right. Ready? Imagine a world of wisdom where all have enough, founded on faith and freedom, living the light of love, people sharing in peace, seeing eye to eye, grounding the golden rule, declaring now's the time. Together we rise, side by side, hand in hand, we unify for the future of our children, the healing of this earth, the cleansing of these waters, and this great rebirth. Unify, thrive, dream the dream of life. Together let's sing, remembered in the light, forever as one, unified. Playing our point of passion, the song in every soul, joining our hearts in harmony for the greater good of the whole, protecting our nature for generations to come, and calling on Creator sovereignty for everyone. Together we rise, side by side, hand in hand, we unify for the future of our children, the healing of this earth, the cleansing of these waters, and this great rebirth. Unify and thrive, and dream the dream alive. Together let's stand, remembered in the light, forever as one, unified. Unified with purpose, joyfully through the night, unified and strengthened to all the way in the light. Together we rise, side by side, hand in hand, we unify for the future of our children, the healing of this earth, and of these waters, and this great rebirth. Unify and thrive, dream the dream alive. Together let's sing, remembered in the light, forever as one, unified. Now remembered we rise, peaceful in the light, forever as one, Thank you very much. How about this great band, everyone?
It's Sean Galloway, everybody. Fantastic.
Wow. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, band. Thank you, Dr. Mitch. Thank you all for coming today. You know, it's our community that makes this center great. I appreciate everybody who has shown up today. Before we leave, I'd like to share just a few announcements. We are taking a few more names for our search committee. We would like to get on the road, or the search committee would like to get on the road with finding our minister for this center. And in order to do that, we need 2 more people to join the search committee. So if you're interested, please let admin@CSLN, admin@nashville.org know. There you go. Or you can let me know. In case y'all wondering about our yearly picnic, I just want to say Brian Wright is getting on, and we're going to postpone the picnic till the end of September. And I'm going to introduce somebody. I'm going to introduce Hannah Cowan right here. Everybody give her a hand. She's our new event coordinator, and so we're looking for those who know about the picnic to join Hannah, to join Brian to join us in making this just a fantastic year this year. If y'all have interest, please let admin know, or once again, you can see me. And I would like for those to remember, keep Judy Barnett close in your heart and in your prayers. And if you'd like to know anything else or about her status or where she is, please reach out. Before closing, I'd like to recognize all our visitors, but I'm not going to ask you to stand. What I'm going to ask you to do, if you go to the fellowship hall, join us after service, join us for some coffee and refreshments. We sure would like to get to know you. I'd also like to thank those who are watching online. And if there's anything that has moved you in the service today, and how could it not, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. I'm going to invite everybody else to join those visitors in the community or the fellowship hall afterwards for some light refreshments. I'm going to ask our practitioners, Dr. Mitch, if you could come front, and just to know if there's something heavy on your heart, if you have a heart's desire, please don't leave here today without getting or connecting with us. It's our privilege. We have a lot of practitioners who find it their purpose, their joy is to connect with you all. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes once again as we go into a closing treatment. So know with me that there is only one heart, one mind, one life, one love, one infinite source from good. One source from good from which all things come. There is no duality. Any sense of evil is man-made. There is only good, and there is only God. And I take this time to unite with the good. And I know right now that all is perfect, whole, and complete. Every molecule of my physical body is forever expressing this wonderful truth that God is all that I am. And today, I know that I live in the heart of God, and I allow the light of truth to bring clarity to every moment in my life. I know what I want, and I see clearly. I feel more compassionately and love more fully. I choose to allow the divine within me an open door through which to express more perfectly as me. I release all judgments and negative thoughts of others. I release all fears and all doubts, and I move freely, confidently, and comfortably with love. I allow a greater perspective of my life to come into being, and I am in that spiritual flow of love and greatness. So right now and forevermore, all is well in my world, for I have complete trust that everything is working for my highest and best. Things I previously saw as an obstacle, I now see as a stepping stone to truth, to love. It is from this place that I state my truth to the universe, that I am in perfect health, I have an ever-increasing abundance, I am a wonderful resource to my family and friends and to my beloved CSLN community. I believe in the law of circulation as I give up my service with love, and as I give, I receive. So I'm very grateful for this teaching. I know that I'm co-creator of my life. And as I hold Spirit tenderly in my heart and mind, I give thanks for the evidence of Spirit expressing love in my life. I am so grateful for this experience of life and love. And so I'm going to release my words to the law, knowing that this or something even better is so. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you.
All right, now's the time to stand. And let's all sing our closing number. This is Put a Little Love in Your Heart. Most of us should know it by now. I mean, we got plenty of help today from Becky and Antoinette.